Savaged.
This program contains subject matter and language that may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
There we go again.
More technical problems. We live in the 21st century.
Savaged. Unfiltered.
Under. The only reason I know this is because I lived under tyranny. I lived.
Oh, shut the fuck up. You're a fucking
Your host, Michael Gardner.
Proper fashion at the proper time.
Like a Hellcat.
Hey guys, we made it.
Alrighty, guys. Welcome to Savaged Unfiltered. This is the Savaged Army here. The podcast for all my Savaged Army listeners and followers on social media and the social media universe out there, right, guys? Welcome, Savaged Army members, to Savage Unfiltered podcast. Keep it savage, guys, like always. Guys, I wanna touch on something that's been a developing story here in the state of Florida. Okay, with people having issues living in the Port Orange, Daytona Beach area. Okay, now for those who live in Florida, you're gonna kind of understand what I mean by this, because it's a growing issue right now with this island of squanders that have overtaken the island. That's right, guys. They have basically took a private island that's been private for some time now, and they decided to take it amongst themselves, overtake the island, and make it a homeless island. That's right, guys. It's really terrible. It's terrible of what's going on right now. Squanders, literally squanders. I know Fox 35 Orlando has touched this, guys. Obviously, if you could see inside the Rumble video here, Florida's huge drug problem. That's right, guys. Volusia Sheriff Office has basically put a 48-hour notice on these squanders on the island. That's literally right off of between Daytona Beach and Port Orange. It's a barrier island right off the coast of Daytona Beach. Giving them 48 hours, guys. 48 hours to vacate this island. Okay? And on this island, Volusia Sheriff Office has noticed a huge meth issue. That's right, guys. Meth galore on this island. So I guess you can call it Florida's Meth Island. Yeah. Oh, what's going on with this? Yeah, Florida's Meth Island. Thank you, Shaky. A little late on that overlay, but hey, yeah, we love you, buddy. But yeah, Florida's Meth Island, Joseph. The island of misfit methers. I guess that's what we can call it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow. I was going to make a comparison. I guess Epstein and the pedophiles can have Pedo Island, so they feel they could have their own independent meth island, I guess. But the difference there is, of course, while Epstein, they were engaging in immoral activity there, technically he owned the island exclusively, was outside international waters, no independent nation, whereas this is part of Florida. Somebody owns it. They are squatting. They don't own it. They don't get control it. So yeah, this is an illegal occupation.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a huge problem here in Florida, guys. Joseph, you gotta see this thing here. They have literally an island that's completed with 4-story tree houses, a welcome center, and a trampoline. Yeah, there's a trampoline on this island. A little sign that says, welcome island. or excuse me, what does it say, Shay? Oh, yeah, thank you for the notation. Welcome to Florida's Meth Island, and then there's like a whole little thing on it. You got to see it, guys. I know ESPN WFL.com put this out, which if you guys go over to the website ESPN SWFL, I guess that stands for Southwest Florida. Yeah, ESPN Southwest Florida website put this out, and on the website it states this, that one group of Florida residents found a way around skyrocketing housing prices and created their own little village on this island. You got to see it. I mean, it kind of reminds me of going back to Seattle's like Chaz. Remember that, Joseph? I think you were on the show right before when Joseph came into the show. We covered Chaz, you know, when they decided to take like a downtown district of Seattle and make it their own little utopia of paradise.
Yeah, they did that in Portland and other places where there were idiotic liberal mayors that just let it be an autonomous, lawless zone and wondered why things got burnt down, crime ran rampant. But regarding the trampoline, well, duh, of course there's a trampoline, Michael, because if there's anything a meth head loves more than meth, it's a trampoline.
Yeah. I mean, Joseph nailed it right on the spot, guys. Check this out here. This we'll put this graphic here of just exactly what it looks like, guys. On, you know, if you're approaching it from, you know, because in Florida, getting way too ahead of myself. Thank you, Shaky. Slow it down. Bring it down a notch. I've been so influenced by Joseph's ecstatic behavior on the show that I'm like, that's all, folks. But you guys got to check this out here. Here it is right here. Joseph, check this out, man. Literally. Thank you. Yeah, violators literally have
48 hours to vacate the island. Michael zoned out there. I don't know if anybody else can still hear him, but I can't anymore. I still see the graphic on the screen. So
yeah.
Okay, you're back. All right. Yeah. I kind of filled in there because you zoned out there for a second.
Yeah. Well. Look at the shack here. That's the shack, Joseph. When it comes in, right? When you come into this island, you see a shack that has like clothes all over it. And then there's like, it looks like a dock, right? Shaky, what is that? A fucking dock? It looks like a dock.
Yeah.
And then you go through like the visitors post because it says, you know, welcome to Florida's Meth Island. And then after that, there's a whole fucking village of this thing, Joseph. A whole village.
I've been avoiding coming to Florida lately, but you know, I'm overdue for a vacation. So obviously, this is my vacation spot now.
Yeah, Joseph, you can go on to this island. You could be greeted by meth heads, junkies, crackheads. I mean, the list goes on. Probably you'll probably see people with missing teeth, black teeth, all of it. It looks disgusting.
And again, like, duh, who doesn't want a vacation with a bunch of meth heads? I mean, it's a win-win-win for everybody, right? I don't understand why DeSantis would have an issue here.
Yeah. I mean, you know, maybe DeSantis can label this the next Airbnb idea or something, you know, like for Florida, like, because there's Airbnbs all over Florida, you know. Go over to Port Orange, South Daytona, where they have this squandering issue there, and tell them, hey, do you guys have like Airbnb rentals here? I'd love to rent one of your crack houses or one of your tree houses or something, you know?
Yeah, now okay, leftists, you piss, moan, bitch, whine, and constantly moan about Florida. Well, you've got your own little left-wing autonomous zone there now. Yeah. So you could go to Florida now.
Yeah. Go over to Florida, guys, and you know, you'll be greeted by all this.
This is the last bottle of Fat Tire, the last of over 750 million bottles ever made, the last of a beer icon. And this is Doug, who hasn't a clue. So he's just doing Doug things. Dang it, Doug! Anyway, we've changed our recipe. Crisper, brighter, still carbon neutral. This is the first of an all-new Fat Tire.
Savage. Unfiltered.
But Joseph, we're on this issue here. I know we're having a lot of fun on the show. If you guys are viewing us on Joseph's channel, I mean, you know, it's a growing issue, guys. It's a growing issue of what's going on right here in the state of Florida. Homeless issues, squanders taking over private islands, and we actually looked this in to this issue, Joseph. This island is owned by the state of Florida. So Volusia County Sheriff's Office, the only way to this island is either by boat or like canoe or kayak. And it's not that far off because, you know, with Florida, there's like these barrier islands that are in the middle of like the intercoastal waterway, which is from the mainland to like to the main Atlantic Ocean. Now, this is not in the Atlantic Ocean, folks. Let me correct the audience that's tuning in. If you haven't seen or heard the story yet, that's coming out of Florida here. I know FloridaToday.com, the Florida Today newspaper covered this earlier today into last night. So it is a developing story. This island is in the center of the intercoastal, which the intercoastal, folks, basically it separates from the mainland to the Atlantic Ocean. You have a strip of waterway that's between the mainland to the Atlantic Ocean. Mainland, intercoastal, another barrier island, and then Atlantic. That's how, you know, the east and west coast, the Gulf Coast of Florida, you know, represents itself with body waves. But I mean, Joseph, how can we get rid of this issue with the squandering shit?
Oh, simple. Nuke it. Drop a nuke.
You can't go Donald Trump on it. I'm gonna nuke this. I'm gonna nuke them so bad. I'm gonna nuke those sons of bitches. You can't drop an atomic bomb on it. No.
Drug cartels. No, but seriously, I mean, yeah, that's a whole other thing. But since we brought it up, hell yeah, I'm for actually dropping cruise missiles or drone, you know, Reaper Hellfire missiles on the cartels in Mexico. No boots on the ground. Completely separate issue. It's not like the Clancy movie, what was that? Clear and Present Danger. It's not like that now. Everything's GPS guided. You don't need troops there with laser tagging things. All right, but that's off the topic. But yeah, like we've got little islands here dotted along the Detroit River too. They dredge the river on occasion, and that shit gets piled up, and little islands were created. Well, those are owned. I mean, I can't just decide to go canoe over to one and start building my own hut city. It's the same thing. But it is pretty contained. Maybe some canisters of tear gas.
Oh, it's not very, very contained, Joseph, because some of these slobs that are living on the island, you know, that are full of crackheads and, you know, homeless idiots, they're literally, when they're done, you know, shooting up guys here, okay? Thank God I can say it, you know, we're not streaming on YouTube. We were, but I'm glad, because if we did, there goes the plug. Oh, he can't say that. He can't say that. Oh, hold on. Let me get into my pride. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Pride. I love gay people and I love the LGBT. Oh, let's put them back on. No problem. No problem. We love that. But no, it is a nuisance because after they're done shooting up, you know, with the, you know, the tides and the constant, you know, thunderstorms that we get in Florida, that shit just goes right back to the mainland. And people, locals that live in Port Orange and South Daytona are saying, and this is some of what the locals are saying, Joseph, that it's become such a nuisance and it's become such a health issue that these insulin needles that they use to shoot up with heroin and all types of crazy drugs, fentanyl, they're using everything here in the state of Florida, that some of these needles are washing up on the shore.
You nasty ass motherfucker! public beaches even.
Yeah.
Private beaches, public beaches. Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's unlike, say, San Francisco or whatever, the streets are flooded with that, but there's no tide to carry that stuff from San Francisco to Sacramento.
Yeah.
Unlike this, where with it being an island and they're doing it around the fringes and levels, tides, and whatnot, indeed picking up that garbage, that trash, that human waste even, and dangerous stuff, and indeed carrying it off, because it's not like they've got a like here there's a GLI or waste management. It's not like there's a, they got trash cans and waste management services roaming around the island picking up trash. They're dumping that stuff anywhere and everywhere. And these are, of course, what? Leftists who pretend to care so damn much about the fucking planet. They're the biggest slobs and environmental the destructive people on the planet.
Yeah, guys, I want to touch on something, with this other issue of what's going on with, Florida's meth island. Everybody making goofs about it. Oh, it's Florida's meth island. No, guys, it does have a catchy name to it, but it's a growing concern, a really, 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 really bad growing concern, guys. With that, guys, I want to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. I'll be right back after these short words.
You came along. What was the plan?
To kill all of you and then to leave.
And now, with all our guns out?
I'll manage.
You're the fastest 65-year-old white guy on the planet.
I guess I'm done.
You are officially retired.
How are you gonna spend your golden years, huh?
Schatzel!
Oh, I missed you.
Now, since I'm retired, I'm gonna win my wife back. What's gonna stop us?
15-year-old divorce papers?
She doesn't love you anymore? Luke, can I talk to you for a minute? We're gonna lose an operative. Codename's Panda.
I'm retired.
You zip in, extract Panda, grab the WMD, zip on out.
Holy shit.
My daughter is in the CIA.
What the f*** in this place?
$1 in the swear jar.
I know where the WMD's stored, so follow me or get out of my way.
She clearly has daddy issues.
He treats me like a child.
Alcohol, cigarettes, and the garish lipstick.
That's not lipstick. Oh my god.
It's vibrating, my god.
Kill me now.
Take your daughter to work day is going well.
Emma!
I'm okay, just take him out.
That was her violin arm.
What?
I've learned a ton from working with my dad. How he leads the team, how he keeps his cool, how to slit a man's throat vertically so he bleeds out faster.
Mm-hmm. They got more issues than Sports Illustrated.
Everyone in the van now.
That was on me.
This is totally... You should end the marriage before you...
Do you think I'm a virgin?
Well, let me think what I want to think.
Oh my god, I'm 28.
Savage Unfiltered iHeartRadio.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to Savage Unfiltered, guys. For those who are viewing us on Joseph's live stream, appreciate the patience as we're having some thunderstorms here in the area, so it's going to flicker and stuff like that. But it should be past us here in a little bit. I know there's a strong cell going over us right now as we speak. Central Florida has been getting a lot of fucking fucking crazy weather. So, yeah, that weather will be going over to Squander Island over there in a little bit, Meth Island. But Joseph, buddy, what's your insights on this whole ordeal, man? With the crazy solution we have, man.
I did have one more thing to add, but I like that commercial. That's the first commercial I've seen for FUBAR. I definitely will stream that. I don't have Netflix streaming. I use Kodi on the jailbroke Fire Stick. So I'll definitely check that out. But it reminds me of True Lies, So it makes sense he'd do it. Because Tom Arnold and others brought back a True Lies as a series. I've got those shows recorded. I haven't watched it yet, except for the pilot. It looked so. FUBAR looks a lot more fun. I will enjoy that. But yeah, as far as the island, here is the fallacy of the libertarian, let's just legalize everything argument. It doesn't stay where they say it will stay. Yeah. I'm all for you doing whatever the hell you want in the privacy of your home, as long as what? Like the pride issue. It fucking stays in your own home.
Yeah.
It doesn't. The legalization leads to exactly Meth Island and all that crap going on.
Yeah. Yeah, and here's the thing, guys. There was a statement actually that Ron DeSantis put out with this island, and at first, it wasn't a growing concern. The local Volusia County Sheriff's Office actually, was being lenient with this, Joseph. They allowed them to stay on this island because they were just regular homeless people. Just trying to, get by and go amongst their lives, in unprecedented times. A lot of people are becoming homeless more than ever because of the rising costs of housing prices and everything else. But here's where Volusia County drew the line, and Ron DeSantis put a statement out with this and said the same thing, that we're going to look into this island here and we're going to do what's necessary. Because if it's becoming a health concerned with drugs and everything else that's being done on this island, then we have to shut the island down and we have to vacate the individuals that have basically taken residence on this private island that is owned by the state of Florida. And if it's owned by the state of Florida, that's right, folks, whether you want to listen to this or not, Volusia County Sheriff's Office does have a right to vacate these people, whether they want to bitch and moan or whatever they might want to do, because I know they're going to do that. Oh, you can't do this. They're going to bring in fucking human rights, Joseph. They're going to be like, oh, you can't do this. Where are we going to go? Where are we going to go? Well, get a fucking job, people, and then you'll have a fucking place to live.
Yeah, the ACLU and all the left-wing loon idiot groups, because why? They want them all dependent on them. They're victims, they're victims. Let me clear up something I said about the libertarians in this case. Now, obviously, legalization hasn't happened here. This would be a whole other situation. Again, do whatever the hell you want in your own privacy of your own property, as long as you're not fucking with others. That's not happening here. Yeah. If this were a privately owned island, the owner invited them all there, and they actually cleaned up after themselves so it didn't affect others, then I'd be, go ahead, knock yourself out. Kill yourselves, overdose. Be my guest. But that isn't what's happening here.
Yeah, it's a growing issue, guys. Florida's Meth Island, that's what we're calling it, and that's what it's been called through locals. But basically, Joseph, you gotta check this out. Now, this outpost, guys, if you guys are concerned about it and everything else, this outpost, Joseph, is located on one of the islands near the Dunlawton Bridge, which is right in Port Orange, Florida, that sits south of Daytona. Now, there's an actual several official uninhabited islands in the area, meaning that the islands that are within the intercoastal waterway, they are, Joseph and folks that are listening us on Rumble and Joseph's channel here, these islands, Joseph and guys, these are owned by the state of Florida. Now, some of the islands are inhabitable. What inhabitable means is basically you can't live there. Even people that want to purchase these islands, they really can't live there because, one, they have huge amounts of problems with flooding. I mean, a simple rainstorm for like 20 minutes would flood the entire island, Joseph. You wouldn't be able to put any houses on it. I mean, if you were to put a house on some of these islands, you would have to build the damn thing on stilts. I was
literally just going to say that it would have to be a hurricane house.
Yeah.
Right? Like a lot of houses after Katrina, everything had to be built with basically an uninhabitable first floor that was basically just a hurricane flood zone, and then the house actually was a second and third story. That could happen, and maybe you could get special dispensation, special permits to do that. But otherwise, you're right. They're uninhabitable without special absolute considerations and exemptions and probably even waivers signed. Nobody's going to insure you. You're doing it. It's at your own risk. Don't come crying to the taxpayer for a bailout when you get wiped out.
You mentioned something really, really fascinating about that. Don't bitch and moan when your house, becomes a property of the Atlantic Ocean, after a storm. Because here's the thing: there's houses, folks, that are on these islands and they're coastal, and some of these islands have worse conditions than the islands in the Atlantic Ocean, because we have some islands that are like literally right off the coast of Miami, off the coast of St. Pete, Tampa, Clearwater, Fort Myers. And some of those islands, Joseph, they have better soil. Most of it's all sand, but they have better sand on those islands than the ones in the intercoastal. The ones in the intercoastal, they flood 80 to 90% of the time after a major rainstorm.
Well, and they're good natural breaks for things, but like you said, it's great to help issues with tides and high wave issues. It helps break those up to not affect the coastline as harshly as it otherwise would. But it's great to kayak over for a picnic lunch, maybe, right? But you can't stay there.
I wouldn't picnic over to Meth Island, though, Joseph.
No, not that one.
Yeah,
not
definitely
that
wouldn't pick. No. Bypass that one, folks. If you see like a bunch of squanders and like, tents and all this other stuff you would normally see in a homeless camp, on this island, just kayak next to the next island. That's a little nicer. Maybe put up
Unless, unlike Yogi and Boo Boo, if your picnic basket's got meth and coke and heroin, then that's your place. But if you've got an actual good lunch picnic basket, go elsewhere.
Producer Shaky, he's gonna plug this in, buddy. Here's a video, guys. Check out this video of what Volusia County has basically encountered the first time they encountered this, and they actually witnessed this because they actually had a call, Joseph, from a local that was basically on the other side, on the mainland, that started noticing inappropriate behavior and strange activity coming from Meth Island. Check this out, guys.
'They're significantly better made than the structures that are on the island that's north of the Dunlawton Bridge or any of the islands that are south of the Dunlawton Bridge. So it's pretty impressive, honestly. The number of structures has exponentially grown over the past few years. It is 10:35 a.m.
That one's further south.
4 stories?
1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 stories. Yeah.
4 or 5 stories. Okay.
Yeah. Wait for the house just to kind of show itself, but you don't have
You see that, Joseph? The cop was actually writing the freaking summons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what the real
Crazy.
solution here is that all the inhabitants of that island, all right, leftists, here's reality. Now, if they want to pool some money together and buy the island, and it is then their island, but there are still building codes. It's still part of Florida. So, I mean, you're still within, unlike islands off in the middle of nowhere that are outside international water territories, and you literally are your own nation.
My name is James Webb. I'm the president and CEO of Caribou USA. The group, the Anson Macau group, and the Caribou in Trinidad have been looking to put a flag in the United States for many years. So in 2012, we started going through the process of vetting breweries that we could potentially look to acquire in the future. And we had a partnership with Florida Beer on contract brewing side for Moccasin here in the United States, and thought it would be a great fit for us. So we started the process, which took about 3 years, until we acquired in July 8th of 2016. One thing we've been really focused on is trying to mine the diaspora pride here in the United States, give them something to be very, very proud of. This really isn't for us, this is really for the Caribbean diaspora, that they can say, here's a piece of home here in the United States, it's our island has made it big, along with the locals that have really embraced us since we have acquired Florida Beer Company.
My name is Asa Seeley, Marketing Director at Caribou USA. The significance of the relationship between the diaspora and Caribou USA, it stems from the region. Carib is really significant, having about 95% of the market share. So when they say a beer is a Carib and you're in the Caribbean, chances are you would have run into our brand. And then so much of our population have migrated from the Caribbean region into the US. And they long for those products that they're familiar with, that bring them back to home and they're able to reconnect. So one of the biggest initiatives for us is to really mine that Caribbean pride and utilize the brand that we so dearly represent and connect it with a diaspora that recognizes it and could connect it with an emotion, no matter where they are. And beer does that, brings us together. Another reason why we're excited at this relaunch and getting the diaspora really fully behind this new look, this new vibe, this new energy, and having them as extended champions for the brands in the US.
And more importantly for our brand is, even though a lot of people, the diaspora, the general market, they've had experience with the brand traveling throughout the entire Caribbean. But as you know, during the pandemic, it's a little tough right now. So I think the biggest offering that we have right now is if you can't make it to the Caribbean, we bring the Caribbean to you.
A man so savaged that even Instagram had to restrict his truths.
This is part of Florida. You've got to adhere to Florida law, but buy the property. You want to turn it into a new Disneyland called Methland, and hopefully maybe get some government subsidies to run your new amusement park. Man. Go ahead, knock yourself out, but you must legally obtain the island to do so.
Yeah, you have to purchase it. You know, it's all my squanders that live in Florida on these little camps or islands. I mean, if you like the land so fucking much, buy the property. And if you can't afford it, then yeah, pay the consequence. I mean, you're going to get Volusia County or any sheriff's department or even Florida State Patrol, for that matter, county, local, city cops. They have a right under the law of Florida, through the jurisdiction and the direction of Governor Ron DeSantis, to issue that summons and tell you, you're out of here, buddy. Joseph, they probably would have been fined if they didn't do. Hold that thought. They would have been fined, Joseph, if they didn't do the drugs and they weren't doing strange activity and behavior on the island. They would have been fined. But,
again, yeah, if they weren't affecting others, that's where the libertarian arguments always go to shit. You're fine if you're doing things self-contained in your own property and it doesn't spill out and affect others. Now, this isn't exactly the same, but it's semi-related, and it's just kind of weird coincidence. There's an app called Nextdoor, which is like a Facebook. You know, it's for like local neighborhood groups. And there was somebody from the Canton area in Michigan whining that someone's looking to put a horse track and a Meijer store in close to their neighborhood. Well, you own your property. You get to do with your property, as long as it's properly zoned to be allowed to do so, what you want. However, where it's zoned commercial, you don't build houses there. You build racetracks or a Meijer. And if you don't fucking want them in your neighborhood, move to where you have 100 acres and you can bury yourself in the middle of your property and nobody else can encroach on you. It's like I was on the local zoning board of appeals in Wyandotte 3 years ago, and we'd have the same thing. People bought houses one block, not even a block, the alley, all right? 23rd Street, there's an alley, and then on the other side is 4th Street, which is a commercial zone. Been there before the houses were ever built, but yet they're shocked and appalled that businesses would go there and upset their neighborhood. You know, don't fucking move there if you don't want that happening.
Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. You know, I've noticed in the video that we just played for you momentarily, about a couple moments ago, you know, even Volusia County Sheriff's Department said, you know, this is nothing new that they see, you know, this structures and tree houses. And I mean, literally Florida, folks. I mean, if you go to homeless encampments, you would see some strange structures. I mean, years and years ago, I used to do a show with a gentleman the podcast is no longer available. He really just kind of abandoned his own podcast, Joseph, where we would do like one show a week. And this is like going back like 2015, where, you know, the technology wasn't really there that it is now, you know, with the graphics and overlays and on broadcast networks and stuff. And we would do this little thing on like iTunes and stuff like that. We were only available on iTunes. It was one show a week. You know, and we were happy with our little like 200, you know, person audience, you know. I mean, you know, I can't say that on this show because this show has hundreds of thousands of people that, you know, that tune in, close to millions by now. But, you know, we would do these little shows and we had like our cell phone and we went to this one encampment in Florida and we were like visiting this homeless camp. And like we were asking questions and we were seeing like the structures and we're like, how long did it take you to build that? Or how long did it take you to build that? And this and that. And they were like, they would tell us like they would pick up this wood and, you know, screws or nails from like, you know, different types of areas that they would find it, you know. And at first I'm like, well, you really stole it from like Home Depot or Lowe's, right? I mean, no, that's not the case. I'm like,
no,
I don't give a shit. I mean, if you did.
Construction site, yeah.
Probably a construction site, but you know, they would literally like just like tell us the strangest stories, and they would be like, oh yeah, well, this is what we do, and you know, this is how we we survive and such and such. And okay. Okay, whatever. If that's how you survive, yeah. I mean, but Joseph, I mean, like, this is what our country is becoming, third world.
Well, this again exposes the duplicity and hypocrisy of the left. The leftists, the fascocrats party, used to at least pretend to care about all these people. Oh my God, we gotta help them. You know, we need to steal more money from you to help these people. And of course, they kept all the money. None of the money ever really got to help the homeless or the addicted. Now they don't even pretend to care anymore. All they want are more people that are dependent on the crumbs that the left gives them in return for votes.
It is a myth that terrorism stopped during COVID. Unfortunately, mainstream media opted to prioritize pandemic hysteria over promoting all news. Terrorism continues. Simply hoping that it doesn't affect you is not a strategy. The new book, Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you, featured on The Author Show, is now available in paperback from bookstores, online, or as an ebook exclusively through Amazon Kindle. Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you by Joseph M. Leonard. Order today.
Right? I mean, anything we can do and could do and should do to actually help these people, the left opposes. They don't want mental facilities to house those who need help because they're homeless because of mental issues. They don't want addiction centers to help people who are afflicted and addicted to drugs to actually clean up themselves and then become productive members of society. No, they want them dependent on them. They want them strung out. So, you know, the homeless, like the old projects, right? We could build homeless shelters, and there are some, but some of the people don't want to live there. It's not that they're mental or addicted. It's just they're almost anarchists, right? They don't want any of the strings attached. None of the rules. You have to follow the rules if you're in a homeless shelter. Whereas if you're out on the street breaking the law, you make your own laws, and you know the left lets you get away with that. So we could solve these problems. The left doesn't want it solved. They want the issue. They just want something to piss, moan, bitch, whine, complain, and fundraise off of, and use as an excuse to steal more money from you and me in the form of taxes in the name of helping the homeless. But the deep state bureaucracy keeps 90% of all that money, and only crumbs get to the people who need it. That's why I'm for charity.
Yeah.
Terrorstrikes.info/charity. There's some rip-off charities. Look at the Clinton Foundation, right? The hurricane relief. Yeah. They raised over $1 billion, and a few pennies made it to Haiti into the pockets of other Clinton friends. But none of the Haitians themselves got any of that hurricane relief. To this day in New York, there are Haitians outside the Clinton Foundation protesting because they ripped off all that money. But most charities, they take, 10% for overhead. That's reasonable, but 90% of what they raise goes to the people or the things needed to help who they say they will. Those are all usually Christian-based, right? People who care, who believe Jesus when he said to be our brother's keeper. That's not render unto Caesar and let the Romans do it. No, that is our commandment, our own personal charitable duty, not the government's job. The government steals from Steve, gives most of it to Eve, and then Alice, who actually needs it, gets crumbs. It doesn't work.
Joseph, is there any Karens involved here, or is it just mainly Steve?
Oh, there's plenty of those. Yeah.
Steve, whatever. I'm sure.
Yeah, well,
sure.
that's a good...
Guys, before we continue with this, because we're going to close it out here with this episode, but, yeah.
Now you gotta mention the "Don't Be a Karen" mug on SavageArmy.com.
Oh yeah. Guys, if you head over to SavageArmy.com, make sure you check that out, guys.
Yeah, we were plugging in some merch. There is a "Don't Be a Karen" mug and other merch on Savage Army. Okay, it looks like Mike's back. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. But if you go on to SavageArmy.com, guys, check out that "Don't Be a Karen" mug. It's a tremendous set of merchandise we have on there.
And then, of course, while you're there, one of my favorites, the Restore Our American Republic Roar.
Oh yeah.
And then, of course, please buy a Principles, Not Personalities, Joe the Man, the Myth, the Legend shirt.
Yeah, guys. If you have been checking us out on our on the Rumble live stream here, guys, you want to hit those QR codes. We've been plugging them in all over the course of this broadcast. So if you missed the QR codes, we were putting them up there. Yeah, thank you, Shaky. We were putting them up there for about a minute and a half, and then it would switch over to another product. If you missed that, guys, we'll put it in the show notes. Different types of links if you prefer the certain.
But that's an important point. That's why you should be watching on our Savaged Unfiltered Rumble channel. So you see all this stuff. I love iHeart. I love Spotify. I love our audience there. But there's so much more going on you get to see if you watch us via the Rumble channel. I want to build that up.
And I want to thank those who are, viewing us on Rumble today. So it means a lot, guys. Thank you very much. It means the bottom of my heart, and Joseph's too. But before we continue with this story, we're going to close it out with this episode soon. But I do want to mention we're having a guest coming up here, and she's a really good guest. And a lot of people are like, Mike, you always say every guest you have on the show is good. No, she's a really good guest. Her name is Beth Webster, guys. You want to check her out. She'll be on this show Monday, July 10th. That's right, guys. She's a screenplay writer. She's been in several different types of projects that she's worked along the set of the years, guys, and everything else. We got a clip here. Shaky, plug that in. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Beth. I'm over 65, way over 65, and I'm talking. And I want to talk about a movie. I am a blue-haired movie critic. In Hollywood, they talk about blue hair behind our back. That's over 65. They don't really care what we want. They don't really give us... It's always some cliche. It's always some grandmother. It's always Mrs. Santa Claus. Or it's a woman with a disability or something. I've seen Sam Elliott. He looks like he's in third grade in the movies on Hallmark. So this time, there is one movie that I want us to see. It's called The French Exit. It's by Michelle Pfeiffer. She's up for a Golden Globe for it, but nobody's seen it.
Tremendous guest that we're going to have on the show, guys. I highly suggest my Savaged Armor. That's a good shirt. That would be a good shirt, Shaky. Yeah, I just gave myself a plug for a new merchandise. Savaged Armor. Love it. Put it in production. Let's get our team in production off of spring to get that on the website. But yeah, guys, for all my Savaged Army listeners, there we go. I had to say that slower. My words, I'm telling you. When I get it in there, guys, I'm right on fire. The vocabulary slips and everything else.
It's more caviar. That's a callback to another show for those. You can't miss a show, people. If you don't know the caviar reference, you've got to go back and listen to all the month's episodes. Joseph, I'm not a Michelle Pfeiffer fan, though.
Yeah, me neither, Joseph. But my producers and every person that used to listen to me back in the day on terrestrial, they used to put the jokes where they were, you know, where they needed to put in the gaps and stuff. And they were like, Mike, you gonna get it out today? You gonna get it out today? Guys, I've always been this way. They used to fucking crack up on terrestrial back in the day in my early 20s. And I would be like, I would get in there and I would get the motives going and I'd get on that fucking motivation train and run. And sometimes I wouldn't know when to slow down. But I mean, yeah, guys, for all my Savaged Army listeners out there, on July 10th, next month, I highly suggest you check out that episode. We were checking out some of her work and some of the projects that she's worked along with the course of her career and everything. And she seems like a remarkable type of guest that we're going to have on. So I highly suggest you check it out.
I will definitely be asking her to go to storyrocket.com
and
find my Terror Strikes Coming Soon to a City Near You movie project outline. Maybe I could get her to write the screenplay.
Yeah, maybe, Joseph. But
my fellow American, it looks like some things have changed. Are we doing a good enough job teaching our children what America is and what she represents?
You want an abortion? Get one!
Younger parents aren't sure that an appreciation of America is the right thing to teach modern children.
We're not going to make America great again. It was never that great.
When I drive into a neighborhood and there are American flags, it's a message of white supremacy.
I'm warning of an eradication of the American memory that could result in an erosion of the American spirit.
We need to completely dismantle the police department.
If we forget what we did, we won't know who we are. We've got to do a better job of getting across that America is freedom, and freedom is special and rare. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of enterprise. As long as we remember our first principle and believe in ourselves, the future will always be ours. Ours was the first revolution in the history of mankind that truly reversed the course of government, and with three little words: we the people. We the people are free.
Pick up your copy of America's Political Warfare, Our Modern Civil War, available on Amazon.com and other platforms, December 30th. Get it today.
Back to this Meth Island episode that we're covering today, guys. I want to close it out here because we're going to close it out here soon. It's actually pretty impressive if you think about it, folks. But, when you don't sleep for days and you have lots of time to do things like, normally homeless people do, this makeshift village, which has its own welcome center, by the way. There's a 4-story tree house with living quarters.
Me and Mike, of course, are small government guys. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't like big government, but we all agree that there has to be some government, a small, limited government. There have to be some regulations and certifications. You can't just grab a bunch of 2x4s and throw them up and call them your house.
Yeah, but speaking of that, guys, okay, producer Shaky looked into this. Joseph, listen to this. They even have their own Airbnb with a room listed on Airbnb for $10 a night. You could stay on Meth Island for $10 a night.
Hey, like I said, there's my next vacation. I'll be down next month.
We were talking about this early in the episode, but as this is a developing episode, episode because we're developing storms left and right here, and it's kicking off our broadcast. So I do apologize, folks that are listening here on Joseph's channel here. But as this story is being developed, we looked into it some more, and Shaky looking at different websites and stuff. And you can actually rent a room on Airbnb on Meth Island for $10 a night. Now, folks, when you pay that $10, of course, there's going to be tax and everything. You got to pay the homeless people, that they have to pay the tax because they're putting it on Airbnb. And I'm surprised Airbnb has approved this listing because they have to prove every listing. I mean, if you're going to stay on Meth Island, folks, you have to look at the fine print, which I'm sure they do. Do they have that, Shaky, with the fine print on the on their page there on the Airbnb? Yeah, Shaky's telling me in the fine print, there's a little disclaimer that the crackheads and the meth heads put in there that you are staying at your own risk, Joseph.
Yeah, well, I want to know on this lawless island where all this other illegal crap is going on, can I bring my own personal generator and huge boombox and play music on 11 Spinal Tap style? You know,
well,
blasting it 24 hours a day, annoying everybody else.
Yeah.
Or will they draw a line at that? You know,
you better do it soon, Joseph, because they're about to shut this island down. So I think these squatters are trying to get as much money as possible from anybody that's willing to stay on Meth Island on Airbnb.
Well, my point being is they allow illegal drug use and everything else going on, but they'll probably have an issue with me breaking the noise ordinance.
Well, unfortunately, listen to this, Joseph. Unfortunately, you're not going to like this as we close out today's episode, okay? If you're going to stay on Meth Island, I would most likely stay from now to next week because, of course, you know, it's going to take some time for judges to write up some orders and everything else for it to officially be shut down, okay? And then that includes, you know, some of my unorthodox type of savaged army listeners that may want to check into this, okay? If you're going to go on Airbnb.com and look into this, stay on Meth Island soon because Volusia County is in the process of having this shut down. And this was put out officially on Volusia Sheriff, which is on their Twitter page. And I'll basically say this and say it as it says in their post. Today, it says this, when the hell was this? Okay, this was put out June 16th. So this was last week, guys, depending on how you view this episode. This is what they say. Today, deputies were happy to help out at Port Orange _PD, at South _Daytona PD, and at my FWC. Okay. In posting trespass notices on several islands, including quotations Meth Island near the Dunlawton Bridge. For anyone who enjoys the beauty of this area, this is one step toward bringing it back to nature. So what they want to do, Joseph, is they want to have all these homeless people and people that are residing on Meth Island to vacate. Because apparently, according to the Florida Wildlife Center and the Daytona Police Department Sheriff's Office.
It sounds like there's a lot of wildlife going on Meth Island.
Yeah, Joseph just filled in the gaps. I guess he was waiting for me to shut up, so Joseph just put it in. It's okay. But yeah, they want to restore it back to its glory days, Joseph. They want to bring the nature back to the island, you know, and it's going to take a while for that island to go back to the glory days. Of course, they're going to have to bring out a barge out there with dumpsters and everything else to, you know, pile up all the shit that these meth heads and crackheads and homeless people, you know, decided to do for themselves, you know, so.
But if if you're an adventure type, like Mike was alluded to, maybe you're an adrenaline junkie, you don't have to spend lots of money to do skydiving where the chute might not open and you have the potential of dying. Or you don't have to spend money to go climb K2. You could just spend $10 and have a life potentially ending adventure, adrenaline rush on Meth Island.
Just be careful, folks. You don't sit or lay on a needle, because then that might be the end of your your future. You might develop some kind of crazy disease. Joseph, we're gonna close it out, buddy. We haven't had this in a while. Do you have any truth or consequence on this issue, buddy?
Hello. Do not adjust your equipment. No, this is not Michael Gardner. I am Joseph M. Leonard, and I am hijacking this broadcast momentarily to issue a heartfelt thank you. Thank you to the clueless nation's fascocrats that tune into this show. Thank you. I've repeated over and over. And with that, let's get on with the show! Oh, just, I guess, like I was alluding to with here locally, property rights are a big issue, obviously. You own property, you should pretty much be able to do whatever you want on and contained on your property, right? But anything that then affects neighbors, there's an issue. There is an ability to regulate and control so that you're not disturbing and upsetting others around you. So there's that. I mean, things are zoned, things are owned. So if you want to do whatever the hell you want any time of the day or night, buy 100 acres in the middle of nowhere and hide yourself in the middle of that property. Do whatever the hell you want there. I don't care what it is. Have sex with whomever you want. Do whatever drugs you want. You're not hurting anybody then there. But otherwise, in civilized society, I'm not an anarchist. That most people aren't. We agree there has to be some semblance of rules and regulations, but limited. As limited as possible. But to have a civilized society, there has to be some rules. Unlike a leftist fascocrats who want to fucking dictate everything and anything you can say or do anytime, even on your own property.
Yeah, guys. Like I said, there's a growing issue there in Port Orange, South Daytona Beach area with this island. Joseph, my heart goes out to some of the homeless that are residing on there, because not every homeless person is a bad person. But I mean, clean the island up. I want it to go back to its originality that was designed for a preservation for natural wildlife. That's what it was designed for, not for people to overtake it into some type of fucking Shaz district of that some sort, But my hat goes off to Volusia County Sheriff's Department and everything. Please, guys, clean it up. Bring it back.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Well,
guys, we're gonna close. Yeah, go ahead, Joseph.
Yeah, it goes back to what we were saying earlier. You and I actually are the ones who care. The left tries to portray us on the right as uncaring. We're the fucking ones who actually care to want to help these people, not just enable their behavior as it is. We want homeless shelters. We want mental health facilities. We want addiction centers to help get people back to productive living. The left blocks all that. They block all that.
Yeah. It's terrible. It really is. It's terrible. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Guys, remember to hit that like and follow button on any major platform that you're viewing us on, whichever that may be, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google, Apple, Audible. Including Rumble, guys. Hit that follow button on Rumble. For those have been viewing us on Rumble, guys, thank you very much. We're putting out some more content on there, trying to get the more clips into Rumble as we are continuing to do. And those that are viewing us on YouTube, a lot of questions coming in. How come YouTube doesn't have full unblown episodes? Well, guys, I really wish I can, including myself and Joseph and sometimes Sauce, we call him Cousin Sauce because of his hiatus now on the show. He's got other projects and everything, and I respect the hell out of Sauce for that. Sauce will be back on the show for those that are questioning Sauce's absence. He will be back on the show. It's been roughly about Shaky? About almost 40 episodes that Sauce has been absent on the show. So we will have Sauce back on the show. But back to my YouTube statement. Guys, I wish I could have more videos on YouTube. I really do. We're not doing it because we don't like YouTube. We're just not doing it because of the shadow banning and the censorship. I'm going to close this out here with a quick statement, guys, with Instagram. A lot of emails coming in. Michael, we haven't seen you on Instagram in 3-4 days. What's going on with Instagram? Well, guys, what's going on with Instagram is Instagram decided to pull the plug on us, so to speak, due to human right violations, whatever the fuck that is. We violated something with human rights. I think it had to do with our Pride segments that we've been having lately. They don't like that. human rights. Speaking of human rights, I think they're violating human rights with children, Joseph. That's my own personal opinion.
Absolutely.
Maybe we should look into that.
Whenever you see on television the Chiron, human rights activist and or human rights lawyer, they're not about human rights. Human rights are everybody rights. These people are about special rights and a particular class of people actually having more rights than you have.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Guys, I want to thank you guys for joining our live stream here today on Saturday. Today's Saturday live stream here on Rumble. Thank you very much, guys. Make sure you hit that like and follow button. Much appreciation. And kisses to the conservative women out there. There's only two genders, guys. Remember that, man and woman. Thanks very much. Keep it savage, and we'll see you next time.